This week's channel message from the angels is from our earth angels, from those angels who have incarnated here with us to help us through the shift. It's an amazing message talking about how we will experience them during this process as they're trying to help guide us when the flash of light comes. How do they guide us into our new state of consciousness? How will we experience them? What will they look like? How will we feel? And mostly, they want to try to help us to stay out of fear, to not be afraid of them because they are really big. And really different from us. So welcome back to my channel, you guys. I am so glad that you are here, and especially just share what is really a very fun message this week. So, and for those of you who are new here, welcome. My name is Ann Tucker. I'm a trance channel. I channel from the angelic realm. I do that by going into a deep meditative state or trance. And from that trance state, I raise my awareness up as high as I can go. And then I go higher and I connect at the angelic realm, and then messages and information come through and I share them here with you guys on YouTube. And this week's message, like I said, it's a very unique message. It's actually related to the message we got on July 12th, which was called How to Re-Embody in the Shift. And I will put a link to that one here, and I will put it in the description box, and I will put it at the end. So I'll put it as the last pane when you get to the end and it's like suggested video. I'll put it there. So if you want to watch it next, you can, because that message from several weeks ago was talking about the process that we're going to go through as the flash of light comes. The angels are going to basically put a cocoon around us, and then we go through a process where this higher vibration self that is inside of us already emerges. And it talks about that process from the angel's perspective. This message is related because it's talking about that exact same time and experience, but this time it is about trying to build our trust with them, to let us know that, hey, when we finally feel them, when we get close to this experience, you guys are going to have experiences of the angels. You're going to either feel them in your body, or you might see them. You are going to feel their feelings. You're going to have sensations of them. And they are very, very large beings, and they don't want us to freak out. And their vibration is super, super high. So we're going to experience it in ways that we might not expect. So they want to tell us up front, this is what you're going to feel from us. This is how your body might feel when we're close by, so that we open up to them. It's really important through this process. They said that the flash of light is like a staircase. It's going to lead us up to a higher vibration. But we have to go through the door in order to go into this new world that we're trying to create together. And they said that to go into the world, we have to open our hearts to them. They then will come in and put us, that's kind of how we choose. We open our hearts to them. They then can basically, they'll put us an umbrella of peace in order to help us, to keep us calm and to keep it, but then we need to let them in, and they'll sort of put this cocoon. And it's amazing. They said this cocoon around us it comes from inside of our own hearts. And they're holding it for us, but it is us as we will be. It's a vision of who we become, is what the cocoon is made of. And they see all time as now. So they know us in the future. So they're able to take their impression of who we are, right, from the future, which is from our hearts in the future, who we are in the future. And they bring it back and they make it a cocoon around us now so that we can grow into that. Like, how cool is that? So yeah, so there's a lot to this message. It's beautiful. It's inspiring. I know you guys are going to love it. So I also want to let you guys know, very important for many of you who have wanted to be part of my deep healing process, which is called Soul Convergence. It starts again in September. September 28th is when the next round begins. And this is a process, you guys know, this is the time if you want to be working on yourself, if you're ready to heal yourself, ready to work through your patterns, this is the time where we can do it. And the best way I can describe it is that we talk about healing, and people worry, or they think that maybe we will go through this shift in consciousness, and we know we're going to release our karma in the shift, but will we be free of the wounding? Like, does that mean we get healed from all of the wounding? And I would say this is closer to thinking about, like, right now we are in a school and we have the textbooks that are teaching us all about ourselves, and what those textbooks look like. Those look like the karma that we experience, the patterns, the difficult beliefs that we have, all the stuff that we encounter. As we go through the shift, we will leave the books behind, but we won't read them, right? We will just let them go. And now is our only chance to read the books. That this is a time where we can heal ourselves more deeply than at any other time in our whole experience. So that is why you want to deeply dig into your own healing. So I invite you to come and join me in Soul Convergence. This is an incredibly powerful process. The results have been amazing. Most people say, and the thing I hear most often is people come out of it with a deep sense of inner peace. The progress that people experience is phenomenal. And yes, we do see physical healings. We've had people we've had hearing restored. We've had lots of people lose weight. We've had like crazy things happen, which is amazing and super fun to see. But the thing that is, I think the thing you take with you is the inner healing, is the sense of being aligned with your own higher truth, right? And then it moves you towards the activating your spiritual gifts. So anyway, so learn more about it through, I'll put the link here so you can find out more. I hope you will join us. And yeah, so in the meantime, enjoy this gorgeous message from the angels.
Beginning in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We are among the gently led. We come and have fixed upon this time to bring you news of yourselves. We are friends and in friendship, and always have been, and have long been misunderstood for who we are. We have always been with and by yourselves. We have always been integral to your very bodies, to your beingness. And we are now instrumentally surrounding you for the purpose of this stretching forth into a new time that is coming. We surround you, each and every one. There are many of us. We are abundant and we are present. And we are here within this time and space as you are. We are embodied. We are in friendship. We have come and we are layered in the many feelings of presence. We are surrounding your light. We dignify the herald that you are, the divine shadow that you cast upon this earth. We surround what you are. We are the light of the divine. We are the Creator's art and artful wish. We are the envoys, the bringers of what would be presence into the nature of what you are. We draw this to yourselves. We draw this to yourselves now and always in the friendship of ones aligned in purpose, who see in you what is also in themselves, the divine art of experiencing oneself. We wish in this friendship that will always be. We wish to gain your trust more fully. We wish to ask of you a greater commitment of your wholeness in the endowment of time that is coming, a further lean into what we are and to our presence, to lean into our abundantly felt vibration, which will surround what you are in increasing dynamism. We will be encountered by you. You will feel us. There is a time coming, but short, not far, where our presence will be felt, where you will herald us not as someone distant, as something to be preyed upon in your imaginations, but as in the context where you are living. You will sense us, feel us. Our dignified realm exists where you are, and we surround where you are, even now. Our presence is felt, but not always. And in the times before now, we come, we are felt, empowering your hearts to open. You must lean in to what you feel, to the joyousness of us. We are in a vibration of light that celebrates time where you are, that celebrates the illumination of your spirit. We celebrate. We are the art of celebrating. We are joyous. We sing the songs that are joyous. We bring these feelings into you. The sensations of our heart rise as one note, one tone for you to concentrate upon, one identity as angels. We are one and we are many. We are always in and of a sameness, a unity, a oneness that you can call upon. And you may name us each with individuation. You may call us as you wish, and we will show ourselves in the wardrobe and the fittings which you see fit. And we will come, and we will come and embrace where you are in our truth, which is joyous. And you will feel us within you, and your hearts will be glad. And you will wonder to yourselves, what is this? What is this truth that I feel? What is this merriment that I meet? Is it not how I am? Or is this someone I meet? And we say it is us. In the times that are coming, we are closer. The context brings us into union. And you must lean in. For the times ahead, when you are dormant, we will thread ourselves all around you and form an umbrella of quiet within which you will hold peace. Lean to us. Let us carry you. Let us bring you across the great divide that is consecrated by these times with divinity that will carry you to a new future. You must trust us. Feel us as joyous, calm, peace, loving, significance that is you. We bring to you an assemblage of higher vibrations than you have felt. And it may feel piercing at times, as if we thread a fine needle through your ear. It may be somewhat painful. Fear not this. Fear not the temporary sensation of vibration and pitch, which can be too high of a frequency just yet. It may feel as if you are next to something unfamiliar and you cannot find comfort. It is as though we are intermixed with something that vibrates in attunement with what is not here. But we are here, we are present, and we wish to bring you a voyage of clarity within which you will celebrate yourselves. The comeuppance, the time is coming, the rising, the sensation of us will be clear. You will know it is us. Heartfelt, joyous celebration is our calling, a sense of temporary upliftment, a joyous cause of exuberance. Feel yourself in levity. It will be us. Lean in, lean in. Feel us. Take our hands as if we offer. Feel us, feel our presence. Hold your palms open. It is not now, dears, but it is coming. The time will be apparent in the rainbow spectacle of light. The sensation of us will guide you. Your hearts will open, tenuous at first, and then increasingly as you are guided nearer, as if doors will open, and we are there. And the feelings overwhelming at first, like tears on your face. It is the presence of the divine. You will think it is us, and we are nearer, and you sense us in our joyous state. Let yourself lean in. Feel us. Yes, as pressure. For some, it will be somewhat disturbing if you are unprepared for this sensation. Our frequency is quite divergent from your own, and you must prepare for this encapsulation, which will come from our own hearts. It will surround you, engulf you, protect you, allow you this voyage, a consecrated voyage of life-giving transformation. But to allow us, permission must be given. Your guard must be laid down. Feel us. Even now, we surround you. Heightened heights of feeling come over time. You will sense us more deeply, but in the time that comes, the pronouncement becomes most firm, unlike what you are expecting, most different. It will become and come at once, a sensation palpable as if we are physically present. You will feel us. Give us permission, yield to our hearts, feel only the light that flows through us. Touch not the darkness. Lean into the brightness, the pressure, the heaviness of our instigation pushes against that which is your weight, which is your wounding. Leave that behind. Let the body feel its fullness in the moments we gather together. Let it feel that which you have carried. It will come into presence, but joyous are we. Follow our voice, follow our heightened pitch. Lean to us. We will gather thee. We will carry you across the divide. First and foremost, we create a palpable sensation and offering of peace. Let this endowment caress you, engulf you, stave off the chaos and the extremes, and live with us in the center of your own heart, where all will generate from and renew itself. Become fuller in your expectations of what we can be. For we are large beings, we are not small. We are quite gigantic to your experience, and you must be prepared for this. We are not small. We are quite large, and we are fragmented to your perspective. We do not hold one illuminative frequency. We are many, and we will turn and dilate as if light penetrates and refocuses itself from within us. Thus, you cannot quite encapsulate us in one vision. Be prepared for this experience. We are not source, though he moves through us. We are angels, and you will feel us, and we are coming, and we celebrate who you are. In the new times coming, we will voyage together. Lean into us, trust us, and we will bring you to clarity. Wow, right? Isn't that cool, you guys? So I told you, just a really happy, upbeat, like celebratory message. Like the vibration they bring through in this message is like, I think they're trying to give us a taste of like, this is what they are going to be like when we encounter them. And it's a feeling of celebration, a feeling of joy, right? That, and they're saying that when they're saying they're helping us now, right? They're helping us and working with us right now to open our hearts, and which is great. So this is all this light that hitting the planet, and and their presence here. They're saying this is all about trying to open our heart so that we can be more and more ready for the shift. And they said during the shift, which will be this rainbow starlight craziness that hits the planet, the whole planet, like it's going to be an unmistakable event, that when this happens, they said that they are going to be here to guide us basically through our cocooning metamorphosis process into our new expression of who we will become. And so they've given us lots of messages about this, talking about that the new self is actually inside of us, like a second layer of our being, like a different expression of the same soul. Like we are two in one in the higher vibration, with all the same memories, all the same feelings, like all the same relationships. None of that changes, but it comes up. It's like you at your highest perspective. Imagine you when you are like your most aligned with your higher self. Like that's who's emerging out of you. And so, but in this message, they're saying, okay, so, but for them to do this, they're here, they're waiting. They've sort of got this cocoon that they're going to wrap around us. But in order for us to let them do it, we have to not be in fear. We have to be ready and we have to know it's them. And they said they're going to come in with all this great high vibration. But it's also going to be a little bit scary because they are so different from people. Like they don't look like people. They said they can show up as like the way we want them to. Like they can appear as like when we want to envision, like Archangel Michael looks this way, and they can do that for us. But they said in this process that we are going to actually see them. And they're saying, like, don't be afraid. And they're kind of giving us a preview of this is what they might look like, how we might experience them. And then the other thing they're saying, as we're going through this process, is we're trying to shed the karma, which is we're going to feel this incredible heaviness. As we shed that, their vibration may even be physically a little bit painful for us, that it'll be kind of piercing, like hearing like when you think of a really high frequency sound and how it can kind of almost like hurt, you know what I mean? It can be a little bit painful, like that. Like it might hurt your ears. It might feel like in the body, like it doesn't quite, you can't get comfortable, like it's irritating or prickly on the body. And so we need to know this. They said, don't worry when that happens, that they're kind of, that will, as they're lifting us, that will fade. As we let go of more stuff, that will fade. So it'll be easier for us, but they want us to, and they're saying in that process, don't lean into what's heavy, lean into the light, right? Lean forward into them. So it's really about how they've said before that this flash of light it'll basically take us up the staircase, but then whether or not we go through the door is our choice. So this is about going through the door. It's about how do we lean into the angels and let them guide us through, right? Such a cool message. And then Marie says, I think your book would be so helpful for me to stay out of fear and in the light. And honestly, Marie, I thank you so much for saying that. That is, I think, a huge reason why I want to get it out so quickly is because, yes, I absolutely agree. Because it is reassuring, and the whole book is incredibly reassuring. Yeah, that it will tell us about like what's coming and what to expect, and always from their perspective, reminding us that we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine, right? This is what you're experiencing right now. Like, yeah, like it makes me think of like those of you who have had children, that there's a book like What to Expect When You're Expecting. This is like that. It's the what to expect. And that was like always like the Bible of pregnancy, like everybody had that. I don't know if it's still like the book, but it was the book for the longest time. And now this is like the what to expect when you're expecting for the shift. Right? Yeah, so funny. Mark says he's been hearing the same high-pitched ringing as well. Yes, several people have been talking about getting these super high-pitched things. And Joy, your third eye has been pulsing and throbbing lately, along with the need to pop my ears. Yep, I think that is definitely these high-frequency energies that are coming to the planet. Yep, and John says, wrap me up, oh faithful angels, I'm ready and willing. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then she says that you hear it to the high pitch often after you ask the angels for help. Yep, I think that's it, you guys. It's so exciting, isn't it? Oh my gosh. Oh, Krista says 2 years ago you woke in the middle of the night with a brief but sharp pinch of pain in my left ear. It was immediately followed by a heart chakra opening. I felt like I was levitating from my chest with euphoria. Oh my gosh, Krista, I think that is like what they're talking about here. Holy cow, that is so cool. Thank you for sharing that with us. Wow. And you've been hearing in high pitch frequencies for about 15 years now. Yeah. So this is it, you guys. I think this is what they're talking about. It is so exciting, isn't it? Like, oh my gosh, I think this is close. So many people have been talking about this since like the 70s and 60s, and even before that in a lot of traditions, like, you hear the Hopi prophecies that have been talking about this or, for hundreds of years. And yeah, it's amazing that we are now we got to be the ones that get to live through this. We are here. Like we chose to come, we chose to incarnate. We are the ones. It is just incredible. Like what an amazing, amazing thing that we get to go through this experience. And Rebecca says, wow, is that what I've been hearing for 15 years? Very likely. Yeah. So, okay. So you guys want to break it down? So let's go ahead and walk. And I feel like they spoke very clearly in this message, which I'm grateful for, because I think this is a really important one for us to really take in and use as a guide during the process, when the shift comes, when the flash of light comes. But there's still a bit more, and we can just kind of summarize each paragraph. So you guys, I think hopefully will get every layer. So in the beginning, they start out with a very interesting phrase. They say, we are among the gently led. And I love that when they said it. I played it back and I was like, oh, that is a beautiful phrase. We are among the gently led. And I had to look it up because I thought that probably has a meaning to it. Because it sounds like, what is the gently led? We are among the gently led. I thought there's got to be a thing to that. So I looked it up. I just typed in like gently led, and then I typed in like biblical. Because you guys know I don't know really anything about the Bible. Because I was not raised in any religion. My parents all had like 4 different religions, and none of them were practicing. And so I really did not have any background of that type. But often the angels will reference things that are, from other traditions. And the Bible comes up all the time. I always have people who are the Jewish faith tell me things they mention that are related to their traditions, like Hindu traditions. It's all in here, So, but anyways, this one had a biblical reference. So I looked it up, and it said the gently led are from a part where they say he in the Bible, it says he will gently lead the mother's sheep with their young to a watering hole, a place of refresh. So to be among the gently led, I love that it is that idea of, to me it says that when you think of the lead the mother sheep with their young, that the way people haven't interpreted that, because I also read that, how did people interpret that phrase in the Bible, that it is interpreted as like taking care of the mothers and their children. Who is caretaking of others, right? The mothers caretake their babies. So they're saying that the mothers will be gently led along with their children. And so the angels are calling themselves the mothers. They're saying they will be the caregivers in this process. They will be our caretakers, our caregivers, as we transition through this process of cocooning. So they will be among the gently led. They will be brought to a place of refresh or renewal. So it was just like the most perfect phrase. I was like, oh, that is so gorgeous. So they will be our caregivers through the process of our renewal, because they are among the gently led. How cool is that, right? I thought, oh my gosh, that was stunning. So, okay, they go on to say, we come and have fixed upon this time to bring you news of yourselves. We are friends and in friendship and always have been. So a lot of this message is they're really emphasizing their relationship to us. And I think that's super important. Is just like they've always been, that being incarnated as a human has always meant being protected and cared for by angels. It always has. That we have a guardian angel. The guardian angel is not just a being who stands next to us. It's not just a being who's like, they incarnate, but they are literally incarnated with us. Like they have come to earth with us and went through an incarnation process, but they are just at a much higher frequency than we are, so we can't see them. So they're here, though. They are physically here as much as an angel can be. And so they're saying, and that's always been the case for every human that comes in, they have a guardian angel that comes in, and the guardian angel is there to protect the divinity, the divine spark that lives inside of us. And so they move through this entire life process and guard that spark throughout our entire journey, which is really, really amazing. So they are friends and in friendship and always have been. And you have long been misunderstood for who we are. So in other words, we have lots of misconceptions about what an angel is and what an angel does. So they're saying, okay, so they understand that. They go on to say, we have always been with you by yourselves. We have always been integral to your very bodies, to your beingness, and we are now instrumentally surrounding you for the purpose of this stretching forth into a new time that is coming. So they're saying that there are loads of angels on the planet right now who have come for the exact purpose of helping us, to guide us across through this chasm or void, as they're calling it, where we are going through this metamorphosis process. So, and they're saying that yes, they're literally integral to our bodies. They talk later about how it is that we actually come into being through their help, and they'll go into that in another paragraph. But yeah, it's super interesting. Yeah. So, all right. So then they go on, and then Diana's saying, "Did you see what Pam Gregory Astrology posted today about the frequency?" I didn't. I'll have to go back and see what she wrote. I do love Pam. Let's all send Pam our love, because she's probably watching. Hey, Pam. She's awesome. Okay. So, all right. So then let's go to the next paragraph. So then they say, we surround you, each and every one. There are many of us. We are abundant and we are present. And we are here within this time and space as you are. So this is what they're saying. We are, here they say, we are embodied, right? We are in friendship. We have come. We are layered in the many feelings of presence. We are surrounding your light. We dignify that herald that you are, the divine shadow that you cast upon this earth. We surround what you are. So I think it's important, because they're frequently, when we're receiving messages, when I'm channeling the angels, I'm frequently channeling angels that are not on the earth. As a matter of fact, many of the angels I channel are not of the earth school. They're outside of the earth school, that's a kind of a whole nother story. But the reason for that is it allows me to use healing practices that the angels can bring that the earth angels are not allowed to use. So it allows me to heal at a deeper level than is normally done with the angels that are here, just because they have to live by the rules of the earth school, and the angels that are outside the earth school don't. So, and they've allowed that at this time because we're in this really unique period where we're leading up to the shift, and we're meant to clear as much as we possibly can. So it's kind of it's a reason for right now why that's happening. But different angels come through at different times, and these angels who are speaking us today are the angels who are incarnated, who are here, and who are speaking to you about their role. And they showed up to me. I should tell you this. They showed up to me before I started channeling. I had a vision of that one of the angels stood in front of me and showed themselves not all like an angel, but they showed up almost like a butterfly. And I thought, that is really unusual. Like, they showed up with butterfly wings, smiling like this is going to be a fun message. But they showed up showing me themselves with butterfly wings. And I think it makes sense, because what would an earth angel, like an earth angel would have wings, but here they had earth angel wings. They would look like butterfly wings. Yeah, it was really, really cool. Anyways, I didn't know, but I thought I should mention that. But I was curious. Frequently when I ground and I start going into my trance state, I will get a sense of what's coming, and that's what I saw this time. Was this in the wings there was colors. There was purple and there was blue and there was like all colors. So it wasn't just pure white. It was colorful in their wings. Yeah. So really, really cool. And I don't think that's necessarily, like they said, they can show up how we expect them to. So that was more of a metaphor than anything. Oh my gosh, I just got the whole thing about metamorphosis too, butterflies. Yeah, I just got that extra layer that they're here to help us metamorphosize, angels on earth to help us. So butterfly, that is so cool, you guys. Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's frequently so much more that we clue into as we're talking here together. So I appreciate you guys sharing these messages with us. Yeah. So, okay, so then they say, they're basically saying that they're here with us, they're surrounding us, right? They're very integral to our body. They're actually part of our bodies. They're incarnated, like they are surrounding us even now, right? And that they're here specifically in friendship. We have come, we are layered in the many feelings of presence. Yeah, so beautiful. And they're here, and then the ones who are here to help hold us, instrumentally surrounding you for the purpose of this stretching forth into a new time that is coming. So this is additional angels here specifically for this job. And I think some of you know, I had a crazy dream once, several months ago. It was many months ago. It was this year, but it was many months ago. I had a dream that I was sitting at a picnic table, and I was sitting with someone. And she said, I'm going to go get supplies because you're about to give birth. And I'm like, I didn't know I was pregnant. Oh, I'm giving birth. Okay. So she leaves to go get supplies. And as soon as she leaves, I start giving birth. And giving birth in a dream is a beautiful thing. It normally means like giving birth to a new aspect of yourself. So I love that in the dream for me, but it wasn't even about that, I don't think necessarily, because I start giving birth, like it just happens and it's coming out of me, and I reach down and I catch the baby, and it's like in the 2-second birth, all births were like that, This baby comes out and I grab it as it's coming out and I lift it up underneath its arms and I hold it up, and as I'm lifting it, it morphs into like a toddler. And I'm holding it up, and it's and it's an angel. It's like a toddler angel. It's a girl, and she holds her hands up, and she goes, "Yay, I'm here!" And that's the whole dream. And I think it was showing me that angels are incarnated, and they incarnate through our bodies, right? That's how they come through. They come through our bodies, and many, many angels have incarnated here. So there you go. I gave birth to one, and you probably have too, right? Many of you. I don't know if guys you probably can give birth to angels. I don't know, but we all, different ways. Right? But anyways, in any case, even if you didn't actually give birth to one, there are angels here for you, and they are physically incarnated, even if we can't see them. So yeah. All right. So next paragraph. So this is really interesting about how is it that our souls stay in our bodies. So we think of it as like a container that we're zipped up in, right? That we're like trapped in here because we're zipped inside this package. And it's actually not how it is, because we are, as a soul, we are light. So how do you zip up light? You can't. Light is a wave, and it can't be put in a box. If you shine a flashlight into a box and then you try to seal up the box to capture the light in there, it doesn't stay. It's a wave. It just disappears, right? It goes on. So how do you keep a soul in a body? So how, just think about that. Like how on earth would you keep a soul in a body knowing that we are light? And but we have to fixate in this exact point in time, in this second, right? In this second of creation, knowing that there are also all these different dimensions and timelines and we have to stay in this one. How do we do it? It's the angels. So they beam us constantly into our bodies. Our soul is like an ongoing source of light, like us. And it's almost the way that the image that they give me is like that image of like when you're little and you're playing with a magnifying glass and the sunlight comes into the magnifying glass and it makes like a beam and you can focus it like on the pavement, like on a leaf, and burn the leaf, that kind of a thing. So that's how it is. But there's like 3 angels and they are holding and they're beaming us at all times into our bodies. So I know that sounds really weird, but it makes sense if you think about it, us as light, our soul is light, that we are the wave of us moving through, which is actually, there's so much to this concept because it's incredibly exciting to know that the expression of who you are is not in any way fixed. That yes, the body has history and we're moving in through a body that carries information and history and all this kind of stuff, but the soul is in a constant state of renewal. That the who you are this second is built upon this who you were a minute, the next second, and the next second. You're constantly beaming in. You're not trapped. So if that's the case, right? If that's the case, then anything is possible for your soul. All healing is possible, right? It's an amazing concept. But anyways, yeah, just had to share that. Is super, super interesting. So here's what they say in this paragraph that talks about it. They say, we are the light of the divine. And this is the angels saying, we are the light of the divine. We are the creator's art and artful wish. We are the envoys, the bringers of what would be presence into the nature of what you are. We draw this to yourselves. So this is where I say it is. We are the bringers of what would be presence. So presence is your soul. We bring your presence into the nature of what you are. The nature is like the body. The nature is like the personality and all of that. They are beaming our soul into our bodies, right? We're the bringers of what would be presence into the nature of what you are. So super, super cool. And by the way, interesting little pointer. They say the angels are the light of the divine. They say they're different from us. The angels are the light. We are the spark of the divine. We have that ability to create our reality from inside of us, which makes us different from angels. Angels can create, but they don't emanate a reality the way that we do, which makes us a unique. We are unique beings for that reason. Yeah. All right. So then they say, we draw this to yourselves. We draw this to yourselves now and always in the friendship of ones aligned in purpose, who see in you what is also in themselves, the divine art of experiencing oneself. So we are aligned in purpose, that they do this because we are all aspects of the divine. We are the divine art of experiencing oneself. So they find joy in helping us to express ourselves because they recognize that at the end of the day, we are all one, that they are us as well, right? We are all one being. We are all united in source. So they say that they find friendships of ones aligned in purpose, and that purpose is to express yourself. And when you express yourself, they learn, the universe learns, we all benefit. So that's why they do it. Yeah. Then they go on. The next paragraph, this one is saying that they want to gain our trust and they would like us to lean in. They would like us to trust them even more, especially knowing that we're going to be experiencing them in a more physical way. So they say, we wish in this friendship that will always be, we wish to gain your trust more fully. We wish to ask of you a greater commitment of your wholeness into the endowment of time that is coming. In other words, in the future, as we're going into the flash of light, in the endowment of time coming. So they say when this comes, they are going to need a greater commitment of trust because of the fact that we're going to be feeling them a whole lot more, and they don't want us to be afraid. So they go on to say a further lean into what we are and to our presence, to lean into our abundantly felt vibration, which will surround what you are in increasing dynamism. It's so funny because I can say that word dynamism, but when I try to say it in channel, when they come through and they use that word, it always comes out really funny. You'll see in the recording, I come out and I go like, dynamism. I can't say it. For whatever reason, the angels, when they channel that word through me, it comes out funny. Dynamism, but I can say it, right? Yeah. So anyways, we will be encountered by you. You will feel us. So in other words, the vibration is going to get a whole lot stronger. and their vibration, we will feel it much more strongly, which is why they're saying that we might get a little freaked out, and they're trying to tell us now, don't be afraid, don't be afraid. This is who we are. We've been your friends always. Like, this is, you can trust us, because it might freak us out. So then they go on in the next paragraph. This one says, soon we will physically feel them. That's the kind of the gist of this next paragraph. So they go on to say, there is a time coming but short, not far, where our presence will be felt, where you will herald us not as someone distant, as something to be preyed upon in your imaginations. And by that it's pray, P-R-A-Y, not P-R-E-Y, prayed to, or prayed, like it's not something that you like lean, dear angels up in heaven, that kind of thing. It's preyed upon in your imaginations, but as in the context where you are living. In other words, they're right here with us. You will sense us, feel us. And those are going to be right near us, and we are going to be feeling them much more concretely, which I personally think is incredibly exciting. I really do. I think it's incredibly exciting. Yeah. All right. So the next paragraphs, this one, they say they will help us to open our hearts. So this is an important part. And they talk about a lot of this. So the message that I said, this message is like, there is a huge parallel between this message and the message we got July 12th, which was called How to Re-Embody in the Shift. And I will put a link to that message for you guys. I'll put it in the description box. I'll put it in the comments. And in that message, they talk about how they are going to guide us through the void, and how they're going to wrap us around us. And they talk a lot about how they're going to be opening our hearts in the process of getting us ready. So they say many of the same themes, except in this message, they're going more into trying to help us with our fear of them. So they're saying, okay, even now our presence is felt, but not always, and in times to come now, we are felt, empowering your hearts to open. You must lean in. They go on. Next paragraph is about feeling them. What is it? As joy and celebration. So that's just something to know, that what we will experience them as, the frequency will be one of joy and celebration. And this isn't the only note that they carry, but that's how they're going to be feeling when we are going through this shift. They're going to be super excited, and they're going to be feeling joyful, and they're going to be celebrating that the time has come so they're saying this is how we will experience them. So this is but it might be a very, very high frequency. So we need to be, that's why they're saying we have to be prepared. Lean into what you feel, they say, to the joyousness of us. We are in the vibration of light that celebrates time where you are, that celebrates the illumination of your spirit. We celebrate. We are the art of celebrating. We are joyous. We sing the songs that are joyous. We bring these feelings into you. And what they're showing me right now is they participate, like anytime you say, oh my gosh, I never realized this. And they're showing me this like now, that whenever we celebrate, we call in the angels. I didn't even realize that. They're showing me, and the reason why I'm kind of like dumbfounded by that is because I have had specific dreams showing me that I need to make a point of celebrating the things that happen in my life, that I have a tendency to always be focused on the next thing. I have a tendency, like I told you guys, I just finished writing the book, which is now, it's going to be 6 weeks before we get it out. But I have a tendency to just be like, okay, what's next? I would finish it and I would take like a second and I wouldn't really celebrate, And I had dreams showing me that I need to very deliberately make a point of celebrating. And I get to the point of like listing out goals that were achievable goals that I would then have an associated celebration that I would do with those goals. So I sat down and I wrote a list of things I was hoping to accomplish or hoping to experience. And then I put like, for this one, I would do this fun thing, or I would see that fun person, or I made a whole thing. I did this like 3 months ago. And now I understand. They're saying that the angels are like, if whenever you're celebrating, whenever you have that experience, then you are calling in the angels, and the angels are the experience. That just is so cool. What a neat thing. So they say, they're saying that, so lean into what you feel, to the joyousness of us. We are in the vibration of light that celebrates, right? That celebrates time where you are, the time where you are. So they're celebrating that this is the time for us to shift. And they say that celebrates the illumination of your spirit. In other words, you're celebrating the fact that we are moving into this higher frequency. And then they say, we celebrate. We are the art of celebrating. We are joyous. We sing the songs that are joyous. We bring these feelings into you. So this is part of the process, is to feel it as a celebration. That's what they're telling us. And I'm just really now only understanding this as we're talking it through, because specifically about that dream that I had where they showed me I need to celebrate. So as this occurs, especially as we're going through the process, as we feel the heaviness in our body, all that stuff, to think about this as a celebration, and that will open our hearts to the angels. Wow, you guys, that is so cool. So to celebrate opens our heart to the angels, and they're saying yes, yes. Right now they're going, yes, you finally got it. Thank you. Sorry, I was a little slow on that one. Yes, okay. So feel it as celebrate. So celebrate this fact that we're going through this process, and we will open our hearts. That is so cool, you guys. Wow, so awesome. They go on to say, so this one says, the sensation of our heart rise as one note, one tone for you to concentrate upon, one identity as angels. We are one and we are many. We are always in and of a sameness, a unity, a oneness that you can call upon. So here they're saying the angels have always told us they are an essence, that they have already achieved unity consciousness. So when we call on the angels, they are like every identity of the angels. So every archangel you've ever called on is within the essence of the angels. But the angels are an essence. So they are everywhere, all around us, all the time, right? Yeah. And so they are a oneness that you can call upon. But when you call upon them, they will show up however you want them to show up, right? And they go on and so they'll take on the appearance or whatever, or they will bring in that identity that you want, the specific qualities that are associated with Archangel Michael or the qualities of Archangel Gabriel. Like that is a person, that is a real being, but that being is also integrated into the oneness of angels. So, but it is a genuine person, right? Just like we will be. When we become one, we will still have our personality and our identities, but we will also be deeply connected and intertwined with one another. Yeah. They go on to say, and this is the paragraph where they say they'll show up as we would want them to. They say, and you may name us each with individuation. In other words, we may call on any specific angel. And they say, you may call us as you wish, and we will show ourselves in the wardrobe and the fittings which you see fit. So however we want them, if we want them to be Archangel Michael, if we want them to be Archangel or Shamuel or whoever we need, we can call upon those qualities when we need them, and they'll show up that way. And they say, and we will come and embrace where you are in our truth, which is joyous. And you will feel us within you, and your heart will be glad. And you will wonder to yourselves, what is this? What is this truth that I feel? What is this merriment that I meet? Is it not how I am, or is this someone I meet? And then the angels say, and we say, it is us. So they were kind of laughing through this process, like almost imagining to themselves or telling us like what it was going to be like we would be curious and wondering about them. And they were saying, yep, it's us. We are this great feeling that you're having. It's us inside of you. Yeah. And then they go on to say, in the times that are coming, we are closer. The context brings us into union, and you must lean in. So the context is the flash of light. It is this whole experience. And then the union brings us into union as they're going to be bringing and surrounding us by the cocoon, this cocoon of energy that's going to hold us so that we can transform. And then they say, for the times ahead, when you are dormant, we will thread ourselves all around you and form an umbrella of quiet within which you will hold peace. So this is the cocoon, right? And they've said an umbrella of quiet. So it'll help to kind of insulate us from whatever's happening outside, from whatever might be in terms of the fears of the time or the worries of the day, or even the craziness where people might be freaking out because there's the sky is covered by rainbows, whatever it is, you will be chilling out in your umbrella of peace. They go on to say that they will carry us. They say, lean to us. Let us carry you. Let us bring you across the great divide that is consecrated by these times with divinity. That will carry you to a new future. You must trust us. Feel us as joyous, calm, peace, loving significance that is you. And then they go on to say, next paragraph, and then they say that here they're telling us that their frequency might feel sharp to us. It might feel uncomfortable. They say, we bring you an assemblage of higher vibrations than you have felt, so higher than what we're used to. And it may feel piercing at times, as if we thread a fine needle through your ear. It may be somewhat painful. Fear not this. Fear not the temporary sensation of vibration and pitch, which can be too high of a frequency just yet. So they're telling us if you feel that, it will be temporary and it will pass, because we are going to acclimate and we will rise into a higher frequency, and then it'll be no big deal. They go on to say, it may feel as if you are standing next to something unfamiliar and you cannot find comfort. So it might just be like almost like it's like you're sitting on like almost like you have a tingles, like your arm is falling asleep, that feeling like pinpricks. It might feel uncomfortable like that. Like you feel like you have to move as if the leg or arm is falling asleep. And they say it is as though we are intermixed with something that vibrates in attunement with what is not here. So we'll think it's almost like it's something from far, far away, but they say nope. They say, but we are here. We are present, and we wish to bring you a voyage of clarity within which you celebrate yourselves. Yeah. So they're really here to be of service to us. All right. And here they say, the comeuppance, the time is coming, the rising, the sensation of us will be clear. You will know it is us. Heartfelt, joyous celebration is our callings. This is how we will know it's them. We will feel this joyous celebration. We'll know it's them. So then they say, a sense of temporary upliftment, a joyous cause of exuberance. Feel yourself in levity. It will be us. Lean in, lean in. So levity, I looked that up just to be sure. And it is, of course, an angel term that it is, there's apparently the word levity came back in the day, back in the olden days. When they first were talking about gravity, they also talked about levity as being the opposite of gravity, as what lifts you up is levity. And literally is like pulls you up out of gravity, lifts you up to a higher vibration. So pulling you up, yeah. And then, but it also became a term that describes something that is lighthearted and silly and not serious. And this is super important. And I think that is the reason why they're saying that, okay, they're coming through as the energy of celebration. It is joyous. It is not stoic, right? I think so often we think of angels as being like, you must be like super reverent and bowing and like angels, and we have to be like really serious. And the angels are not that. And they're saying that they want us to be in levity. Like, don't take it too seriously. Take it lighthearted. Be joyful. What do you do when you celebrate? When you celebrate, you're not like, you're like, yay. And they want more yay than Okay, that's the idea. More yay. So that's how, and they say that's important because that's how we open our hearts to them in this process. So be in an energy of celebration. And that's the leaning in that we need to do. All right, so then, and then they say the sensation of them will guide us through the doorway. So if you remember before, we talked about going up this, that when the flash of light comes, it will like take us up the steps, but it's our choice to go through the doorway. And so this is where they're talking about that. They say, feel us, take our hands as if we offer. Feel us, feel our presence, hold your palms open. So there may even be a physical sensation. You may have a visual sensation of a visual, like you might see them physically, you might feel them. Everybody has their gifting come in differently. Some of you are very clairvoyant, some of you are clairaudient, some of you feel in the body that you have these inner knowings or deep sensations in the body. So, and some of you are highly empathic, so you're going to be all tuned into the joy and the celebration. So however it shows up for you. But so if they're saying like, hold your palms open, that you might actually feel them take your hands or feel it on your hands. So hold your palms open. It is not now, dears, but it is coming. And they clarify that because often they say things like because time is not really a thing, they kind of speak sometimes like all time is now, but they're talking about the future. So they're trying to clarify here that it is not now. They're wanting you to open your hands in the future during the flash of light. That's what they're talking about. They say the time will be apparent. In the rainbow spectacle of light, that's the flash of light, the sensation of us will guide you. Your hearts will open. Tenuous first and then increasingly as you are guided nearer, as if doors will open and we are there. So that is the idea. Is go into that, feel their celebration, feel their joy, let it open your heart, and then increasingly they'll come closer and closer, right? And then super awesome, as if the doors open. So the doors to our heart open. All right, so then, and then they say our emotions are going to rise in the process, possibly. So they say, and the feelings overwhelming at first, like tears on your face, it is the presence of the divine you will think. It is us, and we are nearer, and you sense us in our joyous state. Let yourself lean in. And this is an important part to think about, too, about emotions rising, is that when they come in, that as we are being lifted, they said before that our bodies would get really heavy, and that they wanted us to lay down during that process. When we feel ourselves get heavy, lay down, because we'll be in the process of releasing our karma. And the light pulling us from the karma is the body is pulling back, right? It's like the heaviness. It's almost like you're stuck in quicksand and they have to pull us up out of the quicksand. And when you first pull, the quicksand grabs you, and it creates a suction, and that's what we're going to experience. It's going to feel extra heavy at first, and when we start to move up, we will have, sometimes we might experience some of those memories, those karmic memories may surface. So you may have visuals all of a sudden coming through, like weird memories, like, oh my gosh, that's me at age 3, and oh my gosh, that was me when I was 12, and it might just be rising, like it might even be like a flip book in your eyes. So if that happens, just know that this is the process of you just kind of letting go of all of that, letting it fall behind you in the process. And it's important to note in that process that as we move up, that we are going to be leaving behind our karma, but we don't, in this process, we don't necessarily benefit from the karma like we can right now. Now is the time they want us to focus on our healing. And this is super important, you guys, that now is the time we focus on our healing. That the karma is an instrument. It's almost like a textbook. It's a thing we can learn. And we right now have the opportunity to read the textbook. When we go through the flash of light, we give away, that we let go of the textbook. We let it go. So we don't have to carry it anymore, but we don't get the learning that's inside of it. And so it's really important to understand that now is the time that you get to read the book. So we want to read the book. We want to dig into our healing. We want to spend the time focusing on, and the energies are here to support us like nobody's business. There's so much energy on the planet forcing stuff to the surface so that we can try to encounter ourselves and to heal. And so I need to tell you guys, if you want help with that, Soul Convergence is starting again. That there'll be a new round of Soul Convergence, which is my program for healing all of your deep, not all, as much as you are open to heal. It will help you, guide you through releasing deep trauma. And so it's starting again. I think it's in September, towards the middle, I think September 21st. Anyways, I can get you the exact date. I will put the exact date in the video so you guys have it when it starts, but it is coming. And so if you feel like you are ready to be taking part in this, and people who have done it, and Wendy is just dropping the link here in the box. People who have done it, you've probably heard people talking about it. The thing that I think you would say most often for the people who've gone through it is they come away with a deep sense of inner peace. But there's also amazing things that happen. There's, hearing has been restored. Many people have lost weight, significant 30 pounds through the process. Like, it's been some people less, but it's been, not everybody does that, but depending on how you heal, right? What are you ready to release? This is what comes through in the process. And I highly encourage you, whether it be here in Soul Convergence or if you have another modality or another teacher you want to work with, but now is the time. So, and Soul Convergence is a process that I know works, and I'm so thrilled to be able to bring it to you guys. So it starts September 28th. Thank you so much, Wendy. September 28th, and I will post the link. So if you are ready to engage in a deep level of healing and to take advantage, you want to read the book and get all the value, because that's the truth, is that what we're trying to do is raise our vibration as a soul, because that is what we carry with us. And this is the thing that I've been shown about what we are like on the other side, that all souls don't look the same on the other side, that some souls are more blurry and unfocused. And that is because they don't know themselves as deeply yet. And the souls that have done the learning, that have spent the time in healing, that have encountered and integrated more aspects of themselves. The more you are integrated, it's called coherence. Your heart becomes coherent. All of the light rays of what you are become into alignment, and then you become crisp and bright like a laser beam. So you are a brighter, shinier soul forever because of the work that you do right now. This is the time. And that doesn't mean after we go through the shift that you won't be able to work on yourself, but it won't be nearly as easy. That right now it's easy because we learn through pain, and there is nothing that changes you as fast as pain. And that's why we all came to earth in the first place. That's why we came here, is because we knew that if we got kicked in the fanny, we would change. And if you were in a place where you're like, oh, I could change today or not, like, what do we choose, right? We're like, I'm just gonna float and enjoy my day, and that's what we do. But if it's painful, we're like, get me out of this. So that is why this time is special. So yeah, so please please work on yourself is all I would say. Whatever it takes, whatever you can do it now, because this is the time. This is the time. Yeah. And Sherry says, if you've done Soul Convergence 2 and Gift Activation, should you do Soul Convergence 1? Yes, absolutely. And you can do it out of order in that way, and it will be okay. But yes, I would highly recommend it because it heals from a different perspective. Soul Convergence 1 heals from the masculine perspective, and Soul Convergence 2 heals from the feminine perspective. So I highly recommend it. You will find it lands very differently in your body. Andrea says Soul Convergence 1 and 2 has been the most beneficial healing program I've ever experienced. There's nothing else like it. Do both 1 and 2 for sure, and gift activation, then you will be more ready than you can imagine for this wave. Like, thank you so much, Andrea. I'm so, so grateful. Yeah, thank you. Absolutely. Yeah, so and thank you so much for sharing your experiences with it. I really appreciate it. And then Marie says, help you to release your anxiety. Yay, that is awesome. And Linda says, how long does it go? It's the program is my brain is just shrinking for a second. It is 18 sessions. And so that lasts, what is it? So Wendy, can you put in the exact timing? For some reason, I'm having channel brain at the moment. 11 weeks. It's an 11-week process. Thank you. And there's, so Soul Convergence 1 is 11 weeks, and you can start with just one, or you can sign up for both at the same time, depending on what you're ready for. But Soul Convergence 1 is 11 weeks. Soul Convergence 2 is 11 weeks. And then when you're done with both of those in the Soul Convergence process, you kind of get a double whammy, double benefit, because not only are you healing and working through these deep issues these are the hardest ones, the ones that you have had the most difficult time accessing in your life. These are the repeating patterns that just seem to show up over and over and over again. You work through these, you come away with this beautiful sense of peace. But in the process, you are building up a reservoir of energy that the angels then use to activate your spiritual gifts in our gift activation program, which comes at the end. So Soul Convergence is a prerequisite to doing gift activation, because you have to have this extra reservoir of energy to move through that process. So anyway, so if you are interested, if you feel called, the information is here for you. And yeah, we would love to have you with us. Would love it for us and for you, because we would love to enjoy being part of your healing experience with you. Yeah, totally amazing. So, all right. And then where are we here? I'm sorry, just a moment here. And then Angela's asking for more feedback and insights about the program. So we will share definitely more insights. There's so much that people have told us about their experiences, and we've been collecting that information. And we have a couple things on the website. We also have some stories that are on YouTube. But I will get together some more and share them so you guys can see, because it's like there's nothing more inspiring than hearing about other people's healing, because it tells you that it's possible, that you do not have to suffer, and however you've been suffering, that healing is 100% possible. And I myself, just standing here, I am a testament to that. You guys know that one of my biggest stories of my life was the fear of being seen, right? I did not want to be seen, to the point that when I posted my first profile picture, I avoided it forever. I finally did a picture, you couldn't even see me. It was me upside down with my head in a birthday cone. So I look like an ice cream scoop. Yeah. So, and now here I am on YouTube doing videos, talking about angels, all this stuff. And I would have never done that before. I had so much healing to go through to get to this point. So it's possible, you guys. It is 100% possible. And this program will help you get there 100%. Kirsten is doing Soul Convergence 1 again now. Awesome. I love to hear that. Love to hear it. And Marie saying, I'm so sad that gift activation was finishing, and now I'm going to celebrate my completing the course. Awesome. Yes, celebrate it. Yes. Bring in those angels. Laura says, Soul Convergence is a wonderful experience. Definitely do it if you can. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, Laura. So, all right. So let's get back into and of course, I'm going to lose my place here again, you guys. So emotions will rise. They were talking about that. And, the feelings overwhelming at first, like tears on your face. It is the presence of the divine. You will think it is us. We are near, and you sense us in our joyous state. Let yourself lean in. Then the next paragraph, they say, I feel us, yes, the pressure for some. It will be somewhat disturbing if you are unprepared for the sensation. Our frequency is quite divergent from your own, and you must prepare for this encapsulation, which will come from your own hearts. It will surround you, engulf you, protect you, allow you this voyage. So this is and they're really right now trying to tell us, like, this is what it's going to feel like, because it would be very easy for us to be afraid. When we start feeling the heaviness in the body, the first instinct a lot of people are going to have is like, I'm having a heart attack. What's happening to me? I'm going to be calling 911, But no, know that you understand. You'll see the rainbows, you'll feel the heaviness, you'll be like, okay, great, this is happening. I'm letting go of my karma, right? And it will feel like pressure. So this is, and the angels, their frequency will feel like physical pressure, because they said their frequency is so different from ours, right? And so that's part of it. And they're going to come in, or they're going to open our heart and surround us with this cocoon to protect us during the voyage, so we can go through this birthing process. All right, so then they say permission is needed to relax our guard. We have to relax our guard. We have to let down our fear. So they say a concentrated voyage of life-giving transformation, but allow us, permission must be given. So this is the whole thing with free will. It is always, always, always important. Like that free will thing cannot be set aside. Even in this most critical time, it can't be set aside. So they're saying, allow us, give us permission. Permission must be given. Your guard must be laid down. Feel us. Even now, we surround you. Heightened heights of feeling come over time. You will sense us more deeply. But in the time that comes, the pronouncement becomes most firm. In other words, like that, the feeling of them, our awareness of them becomes even more concrete. As our vibration rises, we start to feel them even more deeply, right? Then they say, and it will be unlike what you are expecting, much or most different. It will become and come at once. So that is an interesting phrase. So that it'll be unlike what we're expecting. It will become and come at once. So like it'll come to you as they are becoming. So in other words, angels are light. And light becomes. Light is just like we were talking about the soul as light. Angels, they can show themselves in physical form, but they are light, and so they're becoming constantly, and they will come to us as they are becoming. Right. So that's kind of become and come at once. A sensation palpable as if we are physically present. You will feel us. And so, yeah, so in becoming, think of that as like a wave. Light is a wave. So it's like a heartbeat. A wave just like our heartbeat goes, high, low. Like they will probably have a little bit of a strobe effect. I mean, like it may be too fast for us to see it, but I imagine that they do, which is probably kind of like aligned with our heartbeat, And then they go on to say, and Linda says, if I'm doing Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditation and coherence healing, is it possible to do both? So that is thank you so much for Linda for asking, because it is important when you're in soul convergence that you can't do other programs during soul convergence, because it's like you're building a energy system inside of you as you go through the process, and every meditation builds on the next one. So you don't want to. A lot of programs will clear you out, which is great, or a lot of other healing modalities will clear you out. They'll clear the chakras, clear your field. Well, you're trying to build up an energy which you want to keep. So you would have to postpone other modalities while you are in soul convergence, so that you don't accidentally clear out all the work that you're building during the 11-week process. As soon as it's over, you can go back to doing whatever else you like. But during the 11 weeks, you got to stay focused on this one. And you can do things that are body part specific. You can, for example, if you use acupuncture for pain management, if you're using it, for example, on one body part, no problem. The things you need to avoid are anything that is a clearing of the energy, clearing the body, clearing the chakras. That's the kind of stuff you have to avoid, because you're through the process, you're trying to build up and towards a goal. Yeah, if that makes sense. So thanks for asking. Appreciate it. And then Angela says, sounds amazing. Would love to start now. Fantastic. I hope we'll see you there. It'll be awesome. And then here we are. They say, so we need to relax our guard. It'll be much different. They go on to say, give us permission, yield to our hearts, feel only the light that flows through us. Touch not the darkness, lean into the brightness. And so this was interesting as they said this, touch not the darkness, lean into the brightness. That there's part of that is going to be, the darkness is going to be, and they tell us we should never be afraid of the dark, and that we do in fact have, like, the shadow is what defines us. Like you cannot have light without shadow. Like shadow is, we sort of are born from the shadow into the light. And so there will be shadow in this experience, but they say don't touch it, lean into them. Let the shadow form behind you and around you, and lean forward into the light. The other piece of that is, I think during this process, when the flash of light comes, we know that there are dark energies on the planet. We know that there are, fourth dimension type energies. There's these sort of, there's lots of different types of energies that are what we would call not necessarily positive energies on the planet. And we could have a whole discussion about that. Some of them are literally made by humans. They're like negative thought forms that have taken form and that feed off negative energy. And those are relatively benign. They're just like little critters, but you don't want them on you because they feed off negative energy. And then there are those that are worse, which are ones that are more conscious, that are people who have leaned into the dark, because they feel it's maybe a shorter or a faster shortcut to power, right? It's about ego and power and things like that. And so that's a whole other story. But there's a lot of energy on the planet that is not in alignment with their higher truth. And when these energies come to the planet, those energies are not going to like it. And there might be a lot of chaos, a lot of, as this comes, I think that's part of the reason they're saying to go inward, to go into your heart, to close the doors, close the windows, kind of shut the world out. Because it might be like outside, there might be a lot of chaos flying around. There might be a lot of negative energies that are being kind of squozen by this flash of light. So it's almost like kind of purging it from the earth, because those energies will not be coming forward into the new earth. And they got to go somewhere, right? So they will be taken care of. They are all souls are offered passage to the light. Every single soul, even those souls who are in darkness, are offered passage to the light through this process. But they got to come out, and then they can be offered the light. Right? They will be taken back to source. They'll be given the energy of renewal. They're offered that. Everyone is in this process. So, but know that it might be a little crazy out there. So during the process, they're saying, don't touch the darkness, right? Don't look at it. Don't play. Focus on the light. Just stay focused on the light when this comes, right? When this happens. So hopefully I don't mean to freak anybody out. It's really just a thing. Everybody knows the concept of light and dark. It's out there. It doesn't mean you have to be afraid of it. And that's for truth. Like, think about this. Have you ever seen anybody turn on a dark switch? Have you ever chased the light out of the room with darkness? Never, right? You come into any room that is dark and you turn on a light and it's light. Like, light always overpowers dark, and you are light. So you never have to worry. Yeah. So, and you're saying there might be a lot of chaos. Look outside now. That is the truth, right? I know, it's super true. Super true. Yeah. All right. So then, here we go. So now they're saying, I'm going to get back to where I was. Give us permission. We were just do that. We come into presence. Where was I? You feel the pressure for some. I think I read that part. A consecrated voyage of life-giving transformation, but allow us permission must be given. Your garb, we read that. Give us permission. Yield to our hearts. Feel only the light that flows through us. Touch not the darkness. Lean into the brightness, the pressure, the heaviness of our instigation pushes against that which is your weight, which is your wounding. Leave that behind. Let the body feel its fullness in the moments we gather together. Let it feel that which you have carried. It will come into presence. Yes. So this is that idea of that you might have memories popping up and stuff like that. As you're releasing the karma, memories might surface. But they say, but joyous are we. Follow our voice. Follow our heightened pitch. Lean to us. We will gather thee. We will carry you across the divide. So this is really the permission needed, is lean into the feeling of celebration, that this is a wonderful moment for you. And that leaning in, that opening, they'll lean in and they will carry you through. And so just don't be distracted by what you're leaving behind. Don't be distracted by what's going on out in the world. Just stay focused on them and on the joy, right? And then they say, first and foremost, so this is what happens first, we will create a palpable sensation and offering of peace. So they're saying that they will help us with this process of not being in fear by giving us an umbrella of peace that will go over us, right? They say, let this endowment caress you, engulf you. So don't resist it. Just lean into the peace. Stave off of the chaos and the extremes, and live with us in the center of your own heart, where all will generate from and renew itself. So this is where the action is anyways. You're saying don't bother with outside. That's not where the action is. It's all inside your heart. You are, through this process, creating a new reality. So where else would you rather be, right? This is where the action is. That's what they're telling us. Yeah. So, and then they go on to say, become fuller in your expectations of what we can be, for we are large beings. So become fuller in your expectations. Expect them to be huge. We are large beings. We are not small. We are quite gigantic to your experience. And you must be prepared for this. So do not be like, it's like the fact that they are so big could freak us out. So they're saying, like, don't freak out. Like, trust this. You know this coming in. We're really big, but we're angels. And then they say, you must be prepared for this. We are not small. We are quite large. And we are fragmented to your perspectives. This is really interesting. So fragmented. So we are not one illuminative frequency. We are many. And we will turn and dilate as if light penetrates and refocuses itself from within us. This is fascinating. So in other words, the way they might look is like to dilate means to stretch, open, and expand. So I imagine it like we might see them like angles that turn, and as the angle, depending on how they're capturing the light, you might see it's almost like you might see pieces of them that happen to reflect the light, like if you're turning a gemstone and certain pieces will catch the light. If you're turning a diamond and like maybe two or three facets are reflecting the light and the others aren't. And so I imagine that they're like that. They're multiple different facets, and each one is a frequency and reflecting the light as they turn. I imagine that when, like, we think of like a gem reflecting the light, like when one of their facets is reflecting the light, it'll be like a dilate, like it opens and expands that access into that energy that they're holding. So it might be almost like a thing where you could look at one facet and get lost inside of it. It's an amazing thought. But I mean, like, could not be more different, right? So yeah, like a prism. Yeah, I think so, Carrie. I think that's exactly right. So amazing, right? And then they go on to say, where is it? So we dilate as if light penetrates and refocuses itself from within us. Thus, you cannot quite encapsulate us in one vision. So it's not like a person where you can kind of just look at a person. You kind of get we're almost like we think of ourselves as being three-dimensional, but it's like kind of just one layer. And angels are not one layer; they're multi-layered beings. Yeah, so we can't quite get it all at once, but you'll get enough to be able to see them, sense them, feel them, all of that. They go on to say, be prepared for this experience. This is the whole reason for this message. They do not want to freak us out, right? We are not source, though he moves through us. We are angels, and you will feel us, and we are coming, and we celebrate who you are. In the new times coming, we will voyage together. Lean into us, trust us, and we will bring you to clarity. How awesome is that, you guys? So I love it because it's just like, it makes it that much more real to me. It like really feels like it's happening soon, when they start talking about this is what we look like and this is what you're going to feel us. And I love the idea that we're going to feel them as joy and celebration. Like, how cool is that? And it really does tell me, start celebrating now, what can we celebrate today? How do we celebrate? What does celebration feel like? Get into that energy, start feeling it now. Celebrate the small wins, and the big ones. So awesome. Dom says, so awesome. Yes, thank you. Shanta says that was supposed to say show. Oh, here we go. And then you were saying, how do I help my kids? You said, I saw that up here. You said, how do I tell my kids? Or how do we guide our kids? I believe that when this comes, everyone is going to be put in this umbrella of peace. And I don't think you have to worry about your kids, because kids are all about emotion. Like, think about that. Kids respond to a situation. They look to you and they see how does mom feel? How does dad feel? And they copy your emotions. If you feel relaxed, they feel relaxed. If you feel stressed, they feel stressed. They tune into you to understand how something is going to be. So they are guided by feelings. So I don't think a child would necessarily like especially if the angel is sending out energies of peace. If they're feeling peace, your child is going to be absolutely fine. And you are going to be encapsulated in your cocoon. The angel said in a previous message, caregivers do not have to worry about people that they're caring for. If you care for someone who is elderly or someone who is not capable, or doesn't have capabilities to care for themselves, and same thing with children. If you're caring for children, all of those people will be in their own cocoon. That they will be okay. That they are going to be in the umbrella of light. They're going to be surrounded. That you don't have to worry about them. And so it's not like you're going to have to be thinking like, oh my gosh, I got to keep on their medication schedule, or I have to be, because it's like we're going to be in suspended animation. So it's a thing where you can be just focused on yourself. Just focus on your journey and trust. That's what they kept telling us. Trust them. Trust the angels. They've got it. They will care for all of us. Every single soul will be cared for. And so everyone is given this opportunity to move through this experience. So in your children of all people will be fine, because they will feel the angels. And it's really the adults who are going to be afraid of the angels. We are the ones that are going to be like, oh my gosh, you're huge. And kids are going to be like, oh, you're so fun. So yeah, kids are used to things being bigger than them, right? Yeah. So anyway, so hopefully that helps. And then you're saying, so by example, and make sure that they are aware of terms, of phrases used when speaking spiritually, so they can express themselves when they have questions or experiences. Great idea, Shant. I love that. That giving children a language to understand what they're experiencing, to say this is what an angel is, or this is to help them understand their feelings, or to understand that what the aurora borealis is, why there might be rainbows in the sky, to help them understand these concepts of what are coming, so that when it comes, they have a frame of reference, and especially are able to talk about, like, especially talking about, they might have fears that come up or memories that come up, or they might feel the heaviness in their body, right? So those kind of things that they, to understand about releasing wounding, I think that's a great idea, so they can express for themselves what they feel. And then Rodney says, might they look to us as a flash of light, multicolored and faceted? I wonder. I don't know if they will be multicolored. Great question. Yeah. Angela says, Bashar shards of a shattered glass that I need to go look up that recording. Oh, interesting. He speaks of shattered glass. Oh, interesting. Okay. My kids don't watch TV. They meditate and can see aura. That is awesome. I love it, Amanda. That is so awesome. Wow, wow, wow. I think about that. Like, what about us? If all of us had that kind of parenting when we were young, if our parents had been teaching us to meditate, right? And see, and had been accepting our gifts from the time we were little, like, where would we be today? We would be like way up there, vibrating high. So way to go, Amanda, raising your kids that way. That is so cool. Mark says, in the Law of One, Ra describes the process, the spirit complex of each harvested entity moves along the line of light until the light grows too glaring, at which time eternity stops. Oh, wow. That is how I understand crossing over into when we pass. That is exactly amazing that you're saying that, because that is literally how I see it, that when we cross over, that the reason why we want to be as clear and defined of a soul, as bright of a light as we can, is that the more bright you are, it means the less kind of confusion you have in your soul. And the more confused you are, the less love you can accept, the less love you can take in. The more you define yourself and know yourself as a soul, the brighter you are, the more light you can hold, the more love you can hold. So I see it as just like that we cross over, and then as people talk about walking toward the light, and they get to a place where it's like so loving, it's so amazing, they just cannot take anymore. It's like they're just saturated. They can't hold any more love. And that is the level that they are currently at. That's where they're, and then they will stay there, and they will be in like that version of heaven where they'll be with other people who are in that same frequency. But the more work you do on earth, as you move into that light, the deeper you can go, the closer you can get to source, right? So that's the reason. That's why we want to do it, so that we can get closer and closer and closer to source. And then you get to be at that frequency and be there for eternity, right? Be there for your ever after. And of course, we will then reincarnate and do things and stuff like that, but from that higher perspective. So cool, right? So cool. Shanta says that was supposed to say show a thing. Thank you. I figured that. Don says, so awesome. Yeah. Mark says they will be fine. Probably easier for them, but the children than from us. Agreed. Adults who have a lot of baggage to let go first. Super, super true. Yeah. Eva says glorious. Yay, says Maureen. And it says, yes, but older kids that are not with you, same thing. Flash a light. And then like, given that they may feel fear, but and there is a point like I think about that with my own kids. Like I talk to about this stuff with my own kids, and there's like one of them is a little bit more open than the other, I would say, but they both love for me to channel for them, and and I talk about it openly. They know, they love what I do and all that kind of stuff. But one of them is more like, oh, you're just more spiritual than me, Mom. That's not my thing. And she's very loving and accepting, but she's, oh, that's not my thing, even though her dreams all say she has all the same gifts as me. I'm like, I know what's really in there. but yeah, we'll see. Her journey is her journey, and it's super important that I let her have her journey. And she is going to live that, and her gifts will express in the way they're meant for her, in a way that feels aligned with her light, and they're not going to come out the same way mine do. They're going to come out in her way. And so as this comes, it might catch her by surprise, but I have to trust, I have faith in who she is. I have faith in her ability to navigate this, that this is not so hard that most people can't do it, one way or another. I think about that umbrella of peace. When people are in the energy of peace, what do? How do they feel? They feel more open, more receptive, right? So if they're given the energy of peace, they feel loving, right? They feel their hearts are more open, more likely to open. So I trust and have faith that our children, our friends, our family will get what they need through this process. And then those who are resistant, who are like, not me, who get freaked out, it's not a one and done. The flash of light is the moment that the light comes to the earth. But it doesn't go away. It's not like at that moment, like all of the planet rises in vibration. And so that energy, the higher vibration, will still be here. So they have the rest of their incarnated life to make that change, to go through their own process, right? It is an ongoing journey. So as long as they're here on earth, they can still enjoy that process. So there will be many, many people who in the moment aren't ready. but then down the road they are ready, and you guys are going to be there to help them. You're going to be the ones there that can answer questions, and you guys are probably going to be glowing. So it'll be probably pretty easy to find you. It'll be like, who's got the light? Okay, can you tell me, how do I get the light? How do I do that? How do I feel the way you feel? So yeah. So anyways, that would be my thing to put your mind at ease, is to trust in that. We got to trust our kids, especially our kids, our young adults. Trust them, like that they are on a journey of their own choosing, and they will make the decisions that are right for them. And then we will be there to support them and to guide them and to help them as much as they are willing to receive. And it's not a one and done, that they have their whole lives to experience, to grow, and then to move into this frequency. So yeah, so that's, hopefully that helps. My kids think I'm nuts, says Dawn. Always, right? Yeah, I'd say my kids probably have a little bit of that for me too. Yeah, she's in her 20s. Yeah, they are 31 and 34 years old. Yep. And then we have to trust that Source loves us all, and the angels will help us through in their individual way, best for each. Exactly. I so agree. Rodney says, I posted a picture recently showing a parent who talked badly to their kids, and the kids heard and learned from the example. That same holds true for the truth and light of love. Very, very true. They do what we do, not what we say. Isn't that right? They copy us. That, I so agree with that. It's like, if you don't want your kids to yell, don't yell at them, right? If you don't want your kids to scream, don't scream. Like, model behaviors that you want them to have. I so agree. Yeah, it's beautiful. Carrie, thank you, says Anne. Yeah. And then Maureen says, I think all of our grown children are on their paths and will receive it exactly how their soul planned for them to. I trust and have faith in them and the process. Me too. Yeah, great. Well said, Maureen. Yeah. So, Sananda says, do you suppose that the angels put a really big screw in my tire just before I found out that you were hosting live? Now I'm home trying to get the big screw in my tire while I'm listening. How interesting. I love that. I wish they had chose a way that was less of a hassle for you, but yay. Sherry says, the next book, Adaptation for Littles. Do you know what? I want to do some kind of videos or something that are good for younger people, and so that's on my mind. It definitely is on my mind. That's, now that the book is done, I got something in my mind thinking about that how do we speak to younger people and about their journey. Yeah. Amanda says, I have dreams of family transitioning and foretelling, so I need to hone in on my abilities. Oh, wow. Interesting, Amanda. That's super cool. Don says, I keep reminding myself I need to trust my children's soul as well. Yeah, that is the truth. And then Shanta says, we'll be there with your book in hand. Ah, awesome. Thank you, Shanta. And then Leslie's, have to start. Thank you, Leslie. Don says, oops, too late. There was some yelling. They got the programming that they needed, right? That was the part of the gift. We got to give them the karma that they wanted. So some part of them said, thank you, Mom, for yelling. Because that's exactly what they needed to work through in this life, right? All right, you guys, phenomenal conversation today. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing these messages with me, sending you tons of love. I hope to see you in Soul Convergence coming up September 28th. Tons of love, and I will see you next Friday live. Bye, you guys.